there was a great master whose name was, if I'm not mistaken, whose name was Sureshwaracharya. He got married, and his wife was also a great meditator and a master. So that master was writing an interpretation of the original text. The original text is known as Brahma Sutra. And he used to get so much absorbed that he forgot his wife. Don't worry, that normally happens with crazy guys. So when he completed that, and one day, in a modern, if I explain in a modern way, she brought a cup of tea, and this master asked, "Who the hell you are?" Because he already forgot. He was so much absorbed into meditation. So it does not mean that you have to reach to that state it will take another 10 years. So don't worry about that you are doing meditation and next week you say that, let me stop meditating because I'll forget my honey. So that is not going to happen so easily. So don't think about it. So the wife said, "You got married to me almost 7 years ago. And you were so much absorbed. When you got absorbed in writing the interpretation of that text, I used to meditate by your side." And the master said, "I'm extremely sorry." The name of the wife was Bhamati. Bhamati, Bhamati. So what the master did? He changed the title of the book. The title of the book is Bhamati. It is one of the most valuable texts at the advanced stage of the journey. Michelle, our friend Sophie asked, "Are there women masters?" I said, there are hundreds of women masters. So there are already 4 women masters in my session. In majority. We are only 2, me and John. So we are studying Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Yoga Sutra is a formula, 195 formulas. So we understood in the first 4 sutra what exactly is meditation. We have to empty the mind of its content. Then how to empty the mind of its content and what are those contents we also studied. There are 5 objective states of the mind that needs to be emptied to reach to that state of meditation in which the knowledge of the reality dawns in you and you are awakened. And then we started studying what exactly is the practice. Are you paying attention to my words? Are they going inside you? Do you get the understanding? It means the mind needs to be focused naturally on what I am speaking, what words I am uttering, and what exactly is the meaning. So means what? The first step of the practice is the mind should move inside and stay there inside. Treasure is inside, inner treasure. Outer treasure has no meaning at all. I have seen this in my last 40 years. You don't have the money and you start thinking, I don't have the money. You get depressed. So my master used to say, when you don't have money, close your eyes, see how long you can maintain, and then be creative, how to get, how to earn, how to work hard. instead of thinking, I don't have it, I don't have it. The approach is very easy in our journey. So coming back, the first is the inner treasure. This is outer treasure. So what I'm talking about, the inner treasure that cannot be exhausted. It is permanent peace and happiness. So when you inspire your mind that permanent peace and happiness is inside, why you are looking outside? Constantly, regularly, while eating, talking, doing anything. So what is going to happen after a few weeks and months? Your mind will continue to remain inside. You will see everything with reference to inside. You don't see anything with reference to outside. What is the reference to outside? I'm a man, so let me give another example. I see a beautiful woman. Oh, she is more beautiful than my honey. Problem starts. No, one example I'll give. But when you see the reference, your reference point is inside. What is that reference point? There is permanent peace and happiness, love and wisdom dwells within me. I have to discover it. Then everyone becomes beautiful outside also. You see that? Do you see that? That is the point. We never think of it. So that is the first step. Yes, Michelle wants to say something. I know you are beautiful, but...
Why, thank you. Everyone needs to hear that they're beautiful and whole. So you're talking about a lot of things that, you put in perspective, the outside, the internal. But is there ever a point to which, when you've meditated, and obviously you want to always see the peace, the good in everyone, that you realize that some people aren't like that, but you just say, point blank, they're a jerk, or, they're not at peace, and I can move on. So wouldn't that also be part of the meditation process, is that the understanding of, like, some people are beyond those limits?
There are two parts of it. You have asked the question of an advanced stage of meditation where we discover equanimity of the mind. So we should understand what is that equanimity of the mind. The first stage of the equanimity, that the mind should not see and create any difference, not only between all the human beings, but all the living beings on the earth. What is the common point? Everyone is a living being. Birds and animals and plants and human beings. That is the first stage of the equanimity that we get in deeper and advanced meditative stage. The second level of equanimity, first we have created an equanimity outside. It does not mean that if I have a pet dog and the bird, at the behavior level, I should treat them equally. But at the mental level, I see all are living beings, hence I have the equanimity. First. Second level of equanimity is I see in my mind, are there likes and dislikes, hatred or envy or jealousy? I should remove them inside me. That is the second level of equanimity. So at the transactional level, you treat people the way it should be treated. For example, you treat your boss like a boss. You don't go to the boss and you say all are equal. The boss will say, hell with you, I'll leave you off if you don't treat me as a boss. Husband is a husband, wife is a wife. So at a transactional level, you are doing the same thing, but without any conflict in the mind. That is more important. See that? Second part, equanimity. Now you got rid of the likes and dislikes from the mind. Third level. What is the third level? now you have discovered the real self in you. So once you are awakened to the real self, now you can see the same real self in every human being, in every being on the earth. So it works at the three levels. Once you live into that state of equanimity, you know how to live at the transactional level without any problem in the mind. Do you see? Yes, you had a big question. So now, two parts of the practice. We come back. One, it says practice, abhyasa. And the second, it says vairagya, dispassion. So you ask the question which is related to what is dispassion? Dispassion is that you are not affected by the likes and dislikes. You are not affected by the pain and the pleasure. Why? That is also important, because once we have a clarity, then that dispassion works. So dispassion works only when we have a discernment. Discernment in yoga is known as viveka. So discernment should happen in the intellect. Again, go back. The intellect should be pure to discern. So when it is pure to discern means the mind should not dictate the intellect. And if the mind is dictating through the likes and dislikes, and we stop thinking. How you stop thinking? Someone comes to your house, Michelle, and says, "Oh, you are attending the session with that beer guy? He's a crazy guy." Stop. And your mind is affected. You don't apply the intellect. Let me see, let me understand, let me check. Had he been crazy to me? No. Is he guiding? Is helping me? Yes. Now the intellect has started. Discerning. What is the discerning? It is separating the thoughts that is causing the likes and dislikes and the thoughts that leads to right and the good. In every step of the life, at every moment in your life, in your personal, professional, social life, internalize your mind. Ask the mind, go to the intellect and then discern. Separate what is right and good. One option. What I like and what is pleasant is the second option. I like, say for example, I understand and we met together, and then I said, whatever and you do, how the way you want me to give the class, I'm ready for it. What is right and good? For others, I say, no, I will charge this much. I don't agree. If you are not interested, I am also not interested. So I work at the professional level. But when it comes to Anne, I said, whatever you do, I agree with you. I never forget what she did to me. How can I forget? So can I discern that? Yes, I discerned. I made that decision. So, intellect, you have to discern. Anyone insults, humiliate, causes you anger and reaction. First, let the mind goes to the intellect. Ask yourself what happened. I have likes and dislikes. Let me drop it. Let me see the right, what is right and good. The moment you see what is right and good, the dispassion is awakened in you naturally. What is that dispassion? 1. You are not influenced and dictated by any event happening outside. And there is a catch in it. Once you contemplate and reflect on this, you will realize that it's a play and a fun. And in that play and a fun, your mind remains calm and peaceful. What is that? We live in the world. We work in the world. We think in the world. We act in the world. Action. First is the thought knowledge, that is thought in the form of a thought. Then it becomes a desire, and the desire is translated by an action. Clear? It's a beautiful principle. Now, any action that we perform in the world is defective. Remember this. I have spoken today on a particular topic. When I revisit what did I talk, my intellect will say, oh, you didn't talk of these things also. You missed. Everything, every action is defective in the world. First thing. That is why we say human is to err. Now, in that defect, what happens? You perform an action, you get opposite results. Either profit or loss, pain or pleasure, victory or defeat. These are the three results that we always get. You went to a seminar, you gave a good talk, and everyone appreciated you. And once you came out of that seminar, one guy said, I didn't understand what you said. You see, defective. Action is defective. Action is defective all the time. You made a project to earn $10,000, but you get $8,000. Action is always defective. I'm putting my 100% into guiding based on the principles. Your mind says, okay, it looks crazy. I don't agree with him. So, what should I do? I should remain indifferent to whatever action that I perform. One factor. Second factor, I should perform the action free from the ego sense and fruits for that action. What happens now? There is no ego sense. You say, what did you talk is crazy. Thank you very much. It's good. Thank you very much. That is known as dispassion. Dispassion. One more point. Let us understand one more point. Anne knows. I went to a mental health clinic. I got a contact with an Indian guy who's a psychiatrist. He has 2 mental health clinics in New York upstate. When I was in New Jersey, so I used to travel 2.5 hours to spend 8 hours there in their clinic and 2.5 hours of return journey. 8 plus 5, 13 hours. I did it for 2 months. But at the same time, I was reflecting on it. I was paying something, $2,500, 8 hours, 15 hours, exhausted physically. After 2 months, discernment was that let me spend the same 15 hours in New Jersey working hard to get the same money. And it took some time. I left the job. I said, no, I'm not doing it. It is also a power of discernment. At every point you use that power. Once you discern it, then you are in peace and happiness. Whether it is a matter of wealth, whether it is a matter of relationship. In India, I used to tell the couple, and especially the husbands, keep quiet if your wife is talking. Keep quiet if the wife is not talking. And when the wife is calm, then you convey what you want to convey. But it should be right and it should be good, without any preference. That is also dispassion. So this dispassion balances my life. It shines. The intellect starts shining. Continuously it shines. It becomes more and more creative. It gives you an instant solution. It gives you an instant solution in day-to-day life. It is all about outer life. And what happens to the inner life of meditation? Now there is a clarity. Any thought comes. It is not me. It is not mine in meditation. So let the thought come. Let it go. Let me continue my journey of meditation. And I succeed in it. So two parts of the journey. The practice means dispassion and practice of meditation. What is that practice? The mind should continue to live within. You have solved the problem of the mind. That mind which is constantly jumping outside. Why it is jumping outside? Last point. Very important point. Why it is jumping outside? Because there is no dispassion. Because there is no discernment. How do you say that? I'm asking a question and I'm answering for you. How do you say that? So let me answer. Why the mind is jumping? Mind jumps with the thought. So what is thought? Thought is object plus I am. That is a mathematical equation of the thought. So there is an object. Where is the object? Outside. Who sees that object? Sense organs. Why the mind jumps outside? Mind has a liking or disliking. Are you understanding? Understand the series, the chain. Understand the chain. Object, sense organ, mind says I like it. That's why the mind is there. Thought comes, mind says I don't like it, and still the mind goes outside. Then next step, because I like, I dislike, there is an attachment, there is a detachment. Why there is an attachment? Why there is a detachment? Because of the pleasure-seeking mind. So the mind now says pleasure is outside. So mind springs one thought after the second thought after the third thought. And then what happens? The intellect is gone. I fall into delusion. The journey doesn't stop here. What we say, the buck doesn't stop here. It goes further. Misha, I started becoming, American in English. So then what happens when you fall into delusion? It creates an enjoyer and doer. In that delusion, you become a doer, you become an enjoyer. So you complain, I have lot of thoughts in meditation, what should I do? Don't become enjoyer and doer. Why it is a delusion? Is car a doer or is car a driver? If you don't have a driver, the car doesn't drive by itself. Is sense organ you? No. Is body you? No. Is mind you? No. Then how can you claim that you are a doer and enjoyer? It is a delusion. Are you understanding that? Are you understanding that? I cannot be the enjoyer. My body, my mind, my sense organ, they are the instruments of me. So our master says that intellect there is hidden behind the mind that caused the delusion, and you did not discern, you did not enter into dispassion. That is why these thoughts are entering into your mind. In extreme fear of death, this mind stops. How? Let me put a live tiger in your room and see how you become an enjoyer and a doer. Total fear of death. Do you see that? So we are not doing it out of the fear. I am neither the doer and the enjoyer means that drops your ego sense. The moment you drop that ego sense, all the thoughts goes away. Who has the thought? I. Who is this I? Ego sense. Who created? Mind. Are you understanding that? I am stressed, ego sense. I am happy, ego sense. My honey is beautiful, ego sense. I hate you, ego sense. It has passed through all the journey: object, sense organ, likes, dislikes, attachment, detachment, delusion, enjoyer and doer. One master says, Tadaham tada bandhanam naham tada moksho. He defines meditation: where there is an absence of ego sense, you are in a meditative state. Where there is an ego sense, you are in bondage. You are suffering. Then you will have millions of thoughts. It may be very subtle, it may be physical, it may be mental, ego sense. But without ego sense, you cannot have a thought. You recognize the thought. Who recognizes? The I sense and the mind. Throw this I sense. Check, where is the thought? Where is the thought? So this master says in the fourth sutra, that dispassion has to be there. Once you have that dispassion, what happens? That is what the master says, and then we'll start our practice. You have never experienced the kind of infinite peace that dawns into your mind because of extreme dispassion. That peace, you will be amazed. What happened to me? Why my mind is not thinking? I used to be crazy. It is the power of dispassion. Let us close your eyes. Start our practice. Eyes are closed. You can sit or lie down the way you want to practice. No worries. No restriction. This is the traditional discipline where we do the practice with the knowledge and wisdom. Eyes are closed. Become aware of the body. Aware of the body. Don't fight with the body. When you are aware of the body, the intellect shines with awareness, feels the body, and you experience the steadiness. Then you look inside the heart in the space. Why you look inside the heart in the space, I have already made it clear. The very element of practice is to ask the mind, kindly move inside. Why to move inside? We know. We have to discover our real nature. Why to discover our real nature? Because essential nature is permanent happiness, love, wisdom, truth. Are you really inspired to find a permanent peace? If you say yes, will your mind ever go outside for a penny of a pleasure? Come on. That is the way of understanding. The mind will never go for a penny when you are getting $1 trillion. Have you seen anyone? But because of absence of discernment in dispassion, this thing happens. That is what I said. Delusion, enjoyer and the doer is created with a false perception. See that? That is the power of dispassion. And in that state, you be comfortable. We settle down the mind again, looking at the neck joint, being there. Feel the sensation. Being comfortable and steadiness. It is not that you feel sensation being comfortable after an hour of meditation. Here and now you feel that. That is the key. So looking at the shoulder joints, looking means look, feel, sensation, aware, knowing, all is a part of consciousness. So when you look, feel, you experience sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. Move the mind on the entire body. It's knowing, feeling, awareness. You see that you can easily have a clarity. This phone cannot know itself and cannot know me. But I know the phone. I can use the phone as an instrument. Similarly, this I has become awareness, feeling, sensation of the whole body. Whole body is an instrument. Mind is also an instrument. It is looking. You feel the sensation. You are comfortable and you experience the steadiness. But the problem doesn't end here. At the mental level, we have all those thoughts. Now you understand why we have thoughts, enjoyer and doer, or illusion, or attachment, detachment. I have understood, still the intellect is not able to separate. So here again we become carefree. All these thoughts are coming and going. Let me see they are separate from me. You know what happens when you separate, when you see them, you are aware. What is that awareness? How you know that I am separate from you? The way you see that you are separate from all the thoughts that are coming and going. You see what happens when you are separate from all the thoughts? You kill that enjoyer and the doer. And the mind is ready to go with it. Did I say you kill? Yes. And that killing of the enjoyer and the doer, you are able to hold the mind within. It doesn't mean the thoughts are not coming. Let them come and go. You don't stop anything. Your goal is to move inside. In that state, the mind is ready to move deeper. But still, now we have those impressions working at the subconscious and habitual and impulsive level. In order to remove that, look inside the head. I will change the practice after a few weeks as you go deeper. So look inside the head. in this. Look inside the chest in this space and start breathing quick, short, and playful breath. Any change you accept and recognize. Quick, short, fast breath. Continue doing it. Continue doing it. Do not stop. Keep the body in the state of steadiness. Continue quick short breath from both the nostrils into the rib cage. Let us find how to discover that emptiness today. Continue. Continue. And stop it, recognize and accept the changes that is taking place. Why? Meditation is a movement. Movement from what? From ignorance to wisdom. How do we recognize them? By the changes taking place. So now start breathing deep, silent and slow first into the belly, then into the rib cage, and while breathing out, make the humming sound louder, deeper and longer. Keeping your focus inside the forehead in the space. But remember, while breathing out, you make the louder humming sound, but while breathing in, your breath should be deep, silent, and slow. That is very important, my friend. That is very important. Continue. One more time. Om. Now let us do all around purification. Continue breathing. Not very deep, not very short, but in the middle, so that you enjoy inhaling deep, silent in, slow breath. You have done before, I think, and even if we have not done, let us continue. So you are breathing deep, silent and slow. So now check. The breath is your driver. Breath is your car. Mind is the driver. And the space inside the body is the highway. So what you do? As you start inhaling, move the mind inside the right arm, from the shoulder to the fingertips, and as you exhale, move the mind in the space inside the right arm, from the finger to the shoulder blades. You are enjoying that journey. What is that journey? You are moving the mind with the breath inside the right arm at this moment. Now do the same thing inside your left arm. As you inhale, the mind moves with inhalation inside the left arm, from the shoulder to the fingertips, and as you exhale, the mind moves from the fingertips to the shoulder in the space. It means what? The mind keeps looking into the space. 1. The breath is supporting the mind to remain within. In our traditional wisdom, we say this prana, this energy, merges with the mind, and the mind merges into the space, and it leaves all the thoughts, being a doer and the enjoyer, behind. Move the mind in the same way inside the right leg. From the right side of the waist, as you inhale, the mind, looking into that emptiness or darkness, reaches to the toes. As you exhale, the mind moves from the toes to the right side. This is a step coming from the Tantra meditation. So I'm joining here. This. So Nyasa means purification. Now do it inside the left leg. Same way. Means the mind is constantly aware of the infinite space within, instead of the thoughts, likes and dislikes, or the objects, or enjoyer, or the doer. There is no ego sense, there is no desire for the fruits of an action. Then what happens? Something extraordinary happens. highest dispassion. Now move the mind in the spine from the crown of the head to the tailbone, and from the tailbone to the crown of the head. As you exhale, movement of the mind is from the tailbone to the crown of the head. As you inhale, the mind is moving from the crown of the head to the This master says clearly the highest state of dispassion means what? The mind reflects the real self, here and now, the highest state of dispassion. So it has categorized the different stages of dispassion. What it means? It comes by regular practice with the wisdom. How simple is to understand. And now, leave the breath, remain as it is. Take the mind to the crown of the head. Walk naturally, easily. Take your own time. Allow the mind to drop from the crown of the head easily to the heart. Dropping, saying Om Shanti. Again, take the mind from the heart to the crown of the head, saying with love, with care, Om Shanti, mentally. Now I will give you another clue to go deeper. Your boss is there. Even you address the boss by your name, by his name or her name. What is the emotion and the feeling inside? He or she is the boss. If you get this idea, apply this to Om Shanti. When you say Om, my real nature, not related to the body, mind, sense, organ, intellect, doer, enjoyer. Shanti. Shanti is coming from there. What you see through the mind in the sense organ, one aspect, and you see behind them is the essence of the practice. Take your own time. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. What a beautiful way to this journey. Casually, nothing to force, nothing to enforce. and do nothing, remain as you are. You can still continue with Om Shanti. Any thought comes, you see that your dearest friend calls you. What do you say? Hold on, I'm doing something. Can I call you back? Thought comes, can I call you back? And you do Om Shanti. See that? That is the way. Never ever get worried about what is happening. In that state of doing nothing, we are in the end of our meditation session. Bring your mind to the right hand, your mind to the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences, and once you have question, you see that it's always good, Sophie. When you ask the question, it helps me to redirect the practice of meditation accordingly. So one should be open. Very good. Thank you. And bring the hands down. How are you, Sophie?
I am very good, Girish. Yeah.
Good. Happy?
So, thank you.
Good.
Thankful. Yeah.
So, how are you, John? I don't hear you. I could see your big speaker there, but you might be hearing me, but I don't hear you, so... Hello? I don't hear you yet. Just check it. How are you, Anne?
I feel fine. I feel peaceful.
Yeah.
Quiet.
Quiet, peaceful and quiet. That's really wonderful. 24/7. How are you, Mead? In the meantime, John will fix his audio. You have to yes.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hello. I feel very peaceful, and that's why I come home.
Beautiful. We have to continue the practice until that peace and happiness remains with you all the time. How are you, Michelle?
Peaceful. I went in having, a migraine, and it actually helped relieve most of it.
Good. That's really good. See that if you do the practice regularly, whenever it comes and you do the practice, but caveat. What is caveat? That you should have a state of dispassion in doing the practice. If the state of dispassion is not there in the mind will continue to trigger you. Nothing will happen. Here is a migraine. How can the pain can get away? So those opposing thoughts will cause the problem. That is why we say practice in meditation means abhyas vairagya abhyam tannirodha. Two things. Practice, steadiness, and dispassion should be there supporting the steadiness of the mind. How are you, John? I see your moving lips, but I don't hear your voice. No worries, no worries. Sometime it is good Only sometime it is good. So, any question? Yes, yes, Sophie. Yes, go